The first lie came with the scrambled eggs. "Mommy, why didn't you kiss me goodnight?" My 8-year-old daughter Charlotte's voice cut through the kitchen silence. She sat at the breakfast table, legs swinging, innocent as Sunday morning. Marcy's hand froze mid-reach for the coffee pot, just for a second. Most people wouldn't notice. But I'd been watching my wife closely for 3 weeks now, and I noticed everything. "Oh, sweetie, I did kiss you goodnight," Marcy said, her voice smooth as silk. She poured coffee like nothing happened. "You were already dreaming." Lie number 1. Charlotte had come to my room at 11:30 last night, asking where her mother was. I kept my eyes on my phone, pretending to read emails. Marcy had texted me at 10 saying she was having drinks with a client, but I'd seen her Instagram story at 11:15, posted from a wine bar downtown. No client in sight, just her, laughing, wearing that red dress she'd supposedly returned. "Daddy, can I have more juice?" Charlotte asked. "Sure, princess." I poured the orange juice carefully, my hands steady. 10 years in tech consulting teaches you to keep your face blank when everything's falling apart. Marcy scrolled through her phone, one leg crossed over the other. She looked perfect. She always looked perfect. Marceline Vale, the luxury lifestyle consultant who helped rich people feel richer. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then quickly turned it face down. But I'd already seen the name reflected in the kitchen window. Dante. Not a client. Dante Mercer. Her college ex-boyfriend. The one she'd mentioned exactly twice in 12 years of marriage. Oh, he was nobody. Nobody. Right. "I have that networking event tonight," Marcy said, stretching. "I'll probably be home late again." "Always am," I said, keeping my tone light. "The key to gathering intelligence is making people comfortable." "You're amazing," she said, kissing my cheek. Her perfume was different. When did she change perfumes? "I don't know what I'd do without you." After she left, I cleaned up breakfast. My phone sat on the counter, recording audio. I'd started doing this a week ago. Nothing illegal, just insurance. I opened our joint bank account on my laptop. $300 at a boutique hotel downtown. $500 at a restaurant I'd never heard of. $200 at a wine bar. Another $300 at the same hotel. I took screenshots, saved them in a hidden folder, backed them up to a secure cloud. My phone buzzed. A text from Lydia Fenwick, Marcy's assistant. Lydia was one of those people who lived for drama, but couldn't keep a secret. "Hey, Marcy left her planner here yesterday. Should I drop it off?" Marcy never forgot her planner. She treated that thing like a Bible. "I can pick it up," I texted back. "I'm in the area around noon." I dropped Charlotte at my mother's house and drove to Marcy's office. Lydia met me in the lobby, all smiles and gossip energy. "Elias, how are you?" "Good. Busy, you know." I took the planner from her hands. "Tell me about it," Lydia said, rolling her eyes. "Marcy's been running me ragged with all these new clients. And the travel. She's been to 3 different cities this month alone." "Travel?" I kept my voice casual. "She didn't mention that." Lydia's eyes widened. She'd said too much. "Oh, you know, day trips, quick meetings." "Right," I said. "Nothing major." In my car, I opened the planner. Marcy's handwriting filled the pages. And there, circled in red pen on next Friday, D, 8 p.m., Airport Marriott. D for Dante. I took photos of every page for the past 2 months. Patterns emerged. D, lunch. D, drinks. D, call. Going back 6 weeks. My phone rang. Marcy. "Hey babe, did Lydia get you my planner?" "Yeah, just picked it up." "You're a lifesaver. Listen, about tonight. The networking thing might run really late. Don't wait up." "No problem. I'll hold down the fort." "Love you," she said. "Love you too." I hung up and sat in my car. I wasn't angry yet. That would come later. Right now, I was just cold, calculating. Marcy thought she was smarter than me. But tech guys are good at systems, at patterns, at finding vulnerabilities and exploiting them. I drove to a coffee shop and set up my laptop. Dante Mercer. I typed his name into LinkedIn. VP of sales at some mid-tier investment firm. His profile photo showed a guy with 2 white teeth and practiced smile. I scrolled through his posts, photos from golf courses and yacht clubs. And there, 3 weeks ago, a photo at a business mixer. I zoomed in on the background, Marcy, standing close to him, too close, his hand on her lower back. I saved the photo. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Stop looking. I stared at the screen. 3 words. Someone new. I typed back, "Who is this?" No response. I spent the afternoon building a timeline, every suspicious transaction, every late night, every networking event. I cross-referenced them with Dante's social media. The overlap was damning. That evening I made dinner. Pasta, Charlotte's favorite. Marcy texted at 7 that she was at the event. At 9, I put Charlotte to bed. At 9:30, a charge appeared on our account. $350. The wine bar downtown. I texted Marcy, "Hope the networking is going well." She responded, "So productive, making great connections." I pulled up Find My Phone. Her location showed the wine bar, not moving. I called my mother. "Can you come watch Charlotte? Work emergency." She arrived in 5 minutes. The drive downtown took 20 minutes. I parked 2 blocks from the wine bar and walked. The wine bar had floor-to-ceiling windows. I could see inside clearly. And there they were, Marcy and Dante. At a corner table, heads close. She was laughing at something he said, her hand on his arm. He poured wine into her glass. She leaned in closer. I stood there for 10 minutes watching. They didn't kiss. Everything about their body language screamed intimacy. At 10:45, they paid and left. I stepped into a doorway hidden in shadow. They turned left. I followed. A black BMW pulled up. Dante's. He opened the door for her. She got in. I memorized the license plate. Back home, my mother was watching TV. "Everything okay?" "All sorted, thanks." After she left, I opened Marcy's planner again. Next Friday. Airport Marriott. 8 p.m., 1 week. I had 1 week to prepare. I made a list. First, finances. Secure assets before she could. Second, evidence. Third, leverage. My phone buzzed. Marcy. On my way home. Tonight was amazing. I think I landed a huge client. I almost laughed. "That's great, babe. Proud of you." She got home at midnight. I was in bed, pretending to sleep. She slipped in beside me, smelling like wine and expensive cologne. Not hers, his. "Love you," she whispered. I didn't respond, but I was wide awake, planning, calculating, preparing for war. Monday morning I called in sick, first time in 3 years. Marcy left for her office at 8:30. Charlotte was at school until 3. I had 6.5 hours. First stop, the bank. I walked in and asked for the manager, Patricia, mid-50s, professional smile. "I want to restructure our accounts," I said. "My wife and I have been talking about separating our business and personal finances, for tax purposes." Patricia nodded. "Do you have your wife's authorization?" "We have a joint account. I should be able to move my portion, right?" "Technically, yes, but we usually recommend both parties be present." I leaned forward. "Here's the thing. It's supposed to be a surprise. For our anniversary, I'm setting up a separate vacation fund." Patricia smiled. "That's very sweet. How much are you thinking?" "Half, 50,000. Her eyebrows rose. Then she typed, "I'll need 2 forms of ID. But yes, we can do that today." 30 minutes later, I walked out with a new account in my name only. $50,000 tucked away where Marcy couldn't touch it. Second stop, tech store. I bought a small GPS tracker, magnetic backing, $30. Also bought a burner phone with prepaid SIM, cash only. Third stop, Marcy's office building garage. Her red Audi was in its assigned spot. I walked past casually, phone out like I was texting. The GPS tracker slipped into the wheel well in 2 seconds. Back in my car, I opened the tracking app on the burner phone. A red dot appeared, exactly where Marcy's car was parked. Perfect. I drove to a diner near Dante's office. At noon, people streamed out for lunch. At 12:20, Dante appeared with 2 other suits. They walked to a restaurant across the street. I followed 10 minutes later, sat at the bar where I could see his table in the mirror. He was laughing, confident. I took photos, documentation. At 1:15, he left. I stayed across the street, watching, learning his patterns. Tuesday, Marcy's car went to a coffee shop at 10 a.m. Parked for 90 minutes. I drove by. Dante's BMW was 2 spaces down. Wednesday, they met for lunch. Different restaurant, more secluded. I watched from my car. They stayed 2 hours. Thursday morning, I followed Dante to a gym downtown. 6 a.m. I bought a day pass and went in. He was on a treadmill, 3rd floor. I got on a rowing machine with a clear view. At 7:30, he went to the locker room. 15 minutes later, he came out. I followed to the parking garage. His BMW was in a corner spot. Vanity plate, DN10. The car was pristine. I pulled out my keys, walked close, then stopped. Not yet. Too obvious. That evening, Marcy told me she had that big networking dinner on Friday. I might need to stay over downtown. The event goes late. Whatever works, I said. I'll handle everything here. Friday morning, Marcy spent hours getting ready. Hair appointment, nails. She'd bought a new dress, hidden it in her closet. I'd already found it. You look amazing, I told her at 6 p.m. Thanks, babe, don't wait up. She rolled her suitcase to the car. I watched from the window as she backed out. I counted to 100, checked the tracker. She was heading downtown, toward the airport Marriott. I called my mother. Emergency babysitting? 20 minutes. I changed clothes. Dark jeans, black jacket, baseball cap. Forgettable. The airport Marriott was 30 minutes away. Traffic was heavy. Marcy's car was parked by the time I arrived. I pulled into the lot across the street. At 7:45, Dante's BMW pulled up to the valet. He handed his keys to the attendant and walked inside. At 8:15, I crossed the street. The lobby was busy. Corporate event in the ballroom. I blended in perfectly. I spotted them at the lobby bar. Marcy and Dante, martinis in hand, sitting close. She was laughing. He had his hand on her knee. I took out my phone and recorded video. 10 seconds. 20. 30. Clear footage. Then I walked past them, close enough that Marcy should have seen me, but she didn't. Too focused on Dante. I sat across the lobby, half hidden behind a plant, and watched. They finished drinks, stood up, walked to the elevators together. I watched the floor indicator. It stopped on 7. I took the stairs. By the time I reached the 7th floor, the hallway was empty. At the end, I heard voices. A door closing, room 712. I sat on the stairwell landing for 30 minutes, thinking, planning. Then I went back to the lobby, approached the front desk. Young guy, early 20s, bored. Hi, I'm supposed to meet my colleague but forgot the room number. It's under Mercer? He typed. Room 7112. Perfect, thanks. Too easy. I went to my car and waited. At 11 p.m., I called the hotel from the burner phone. Airport Marriott. How may I help you? I need to leave a message for room 712. Tell Mr. Mercer his car has a flat tire in the valet lot. I'll let him know right away, sir. 10 minutes later, Dante rushed out, looking annoyed. Went to the valet station. I watched him talk to the confused attendant. They walked to the parking area together. No flat tire, of course. Dante looked angry. He was on his phone. The attendant gestured helplessly. I smiled in the darkness. 15 minutes later, Dante went back inside, walking fast, shoulders tense. I waited another hour, then left. At home, I sat at the kitchen table. Marcy's car hadn't moved. Still at the hotel. My phone buzzed. At the hotel, going to bed. Love you. I stared at the message, then typed, love you too. I went upstairs and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow, Marcy would come home full of lies. But now, I had everything I needed. Photos, videos, bank records, GPS tracker, timeline. I thought about Dante's face when he came out. The confusion, the irritation. It felt good, and I wanted more. Marcy came home Saturday at noon, looking satisfied. She kissed me hello and told me about the networking event while I made lunch. It was incredible. I met at least 6 potential clients. One woman wants to hire me to redesign her Hamptons beach house. That's amazing, I said. Sounds worth staying over. Definitely. No hesitation. The lie came naturally. I watched her eat, smiling, scrolling her phone. Charlotte came running in from the backyard, and Marcy scooped her up, all maternal warmth. How's my princess? Normal. Everything looked perfectly normal. Monday morning I drove to work but didn't go inside. At 9:30, Dante's BMW pulled into his office garage. I followed on foot. The garage was quiet. Dante parked in his assigned spot, 4th level. Got out with briefcase and headed toward the elevator. I walked past his car slowly. This time, I didn't stop myself. My key dragged along the passenger door. A thin line, barely visible but deep enough. Metal on metal. I kept walking, hands in pockets. At the elevator, I pressed the button. Dante was ahead, checking his phone, oblivious. We both got in. Morning, he said, barely glancing at me. Morning. We stood in silence. He got off at 8. I rode to 10, then took stairs back down. In my car, adrenaline pumping. The scratch was small, petty, but it felt like drawing first blood. That afternoon, I called Lydia. Quick question about Marcy's schedule. Sure, what do you need? She mentioned a meeting Wednesday afternoon. Charlotte has a doctor's appointment and I'm coordinating. Wednesday. Let me check. Papers rustling. She's got a consultation at 2, then she's blocked off from 4 to 6 for personal time. Personal time. With Dante, probably. Perfect, thanks. I checked the tracker. Marcy's car was at a boutique. I pulled up her credit card statement. $800. Just charged. Tuesday, I took a long lunch and waited near Dante's gym. His BMW was in the lot. He came out at 1:30, hair wet, gym bag over shoulder. Walked to his car, then stopped. I watched from behind tinted windows as he noticed the scratch. He bent down, running his finger along it. His face darkened. He looked around, but I was too far away. He took out his phone, took photos, then got in and sat there, clearly pissed. Good. Wednesday at 3:45, the tracker showed Marcy's car driving to a restaurant downtown. French place. She stayed until 6:30. I pulled up Dante's Instagram. He'd posted 30 minutes ago. Duck confit. Closing deals over lunch or early dinner? Same restaurant. Thursday morning I did something riskier. I called Dante's office. Investment partners, how may I direct your call? Dante Mercer, please. One moment. Elevator music. Then, this is Dante. I hung up. 30 seconds later, I called again. Dante Mercer. One moment. This is Dante. I hung up. I did this 6 more times over 2 hours. Different intervals. On the 7th call, his voice was sharp. This is Dante Mercer. Who is this? I stayed silent for 5 seconds, then hung up. Let him get paranoid. Friday, I took the whole day off. Marcy left at 8:30, Charlotte at school. I had the day. I drove to Dante's office and parked across the street. At noon, he came out for lunch. I followed on foot, keeping a block back. Sandwich shop. He sat outside eating, scrolling his phone. He looked tense. Good. After lunch, he walked back. I stayed behind, closer now. At his building entrance, I bumped into him. Hard enough to be noticed. Sorry, man, I said, steadying him. He looked annoyed. Watch where you're going. My bad. He went inside. I walked away, slipping his business card into my pocket. I'd lifted it when we collided. Old tech support trick. That evening, I used the card to create a fake email, dmercer.personalegmail.com. Close enough to fool casual observers. I sent a message to Marcy's personal email from the fake account. Saturday night instead of Friday. Same hotel, room 508. Can't wait. I watched my screen, waiting. 15 minutes later, Marcy replied to the fake account. Perfect. I'll tell E I have a Sunday morning breakfast meeting. See you at 8. Me. I was just a letter now. I sat back and smiled. Saturday afternoon, Marcy announced she had an early Sunday morning breakfast meeting. Potential client. She's only in town for the day. No problem. I'll take Charlotte to my mom's. You're so understanding, she said, kissing my forehead. Saturday evening, she got ready again. Hair, makeup, the black dress. At 7:45, she left with her overnight bag. Love you. Love you too. I waited 10 minutes, called my mother, dropped Charlotte off at 7:55. By 8:15, I was heading downtown. The tracker showed Marcy at the airport Marriott. I parked in the same lot. I walked in wearing dark jeans, button-down, sports jacket. Lobby was quieter tonight. I took the elevator to 5. Room 508 was my invention from the fake email. They could be anywhere. I went back downstairs. There they were at the lobby bar. Same corner table. Marcy's hand on his chest. He whispered something, and she blushed. 12 years of marriage. And she blushed for him. I felt something crack inside me. Not break. Crack. They stood, headed to elevators. I followed at a distance, slipped in just before doors closed. 2 other people between us. Marcy didn't turn around. Elevator stopped at 5. Dante put his hand on her lower back as they exited. I stayed on, rode to 6, took stairs back down. I walked the hallway slowly. At the far end, a door closed. Room 534. I stood outside, listening. Voices, laughter, silence. My phone was in my hand. I could call her now, confront them. But that would be emotional, reactive. Instead, I went downstairs. At the front desk, different clerk. Older woman, tired eyes. Excuse me, I think someone scraped my car in your parking lot. Do you have security cameras? Oh no. Let me check with security. What's your room number? 534, I said. Dante Mercer, she typed. I'll have security review footage and call your room. Actually, can they call my cell? I'm heading out. I gave the burner number. Of course. I left and sat in my car. 30 minutes later, the burner rang. Mr. Mercer, this is hotel security. We reviewed footage and didn't see any incidents. What time did this happen? Must have been mistaken. Sorry for the trouble. No problem, sir. I hung up and smiled. Hotel security had called Dante Mercer about a car incident that never happened. Another crack in his evening. At 9:30, I called the hotel again from the burner. Airport Marriott. I need to report a noise complaint. Room 534 is being extremely loud. I'm sorry. Let me send someone to check. Thank you. I drove across the street and waited. 10 minutes later, a hotel employee went up. 15 minutes after that, he came back down. I imagined Dante's face when someone knocked. The panic. At 10 p.m., I did something riskier. I walked back in, took elevator to 5, stood outside room 534. I could hear the TV, voices. I knocked. Sounds stopped. Silence. I knocked again. Who is it? Dante's voice, annoyed. I didn't answer. Knocked a third time. Hold on. Footsteps approaching. I could see his shadow through the peephole. Lock clicked. Door started opening. I turned and walked quickly toward stairs, not running, but moving fast. Behind me. Hello? Who's there? I took stairs down 2 at a time, heart pounding, exited through side door. Back in my car, sitting shaking. Not from fear, from exhilaration. Let them wonder. Let them feel watched. At midnight, I went home. Marcy's tracker showed her car still at the hotel. I lay in bed, staring at ceiling. The crack inside me had spread, not into rage, into something colder, more focused. Sunday morning, Marcy came home at 9, exhausted but trying to hide it. How was the breakfast meeting? Really productive. I think I landed the client. That's great, babe. She went to shower, water running for a long time. My phone buzzed. Lydia. Hey. Marcy seems stressed lately. Everything okay? I stared at the message. Lydia, always fishing for gossip. She's been working really hard. Maybe too hard. I know. She's been so secretive about some clients. Won't tell me anything. Secretive how? Just weird scheduling, phone calls in private. Maybe she's working on something big. Maybe. Keep me posted if you notice anything else. I want to make sure she's not burning out. Of course. We should grab coffee sometime. Definitely. Lydia was a resource. Saw everything, heard everything, couldn't keep a secret. That afternoon, while Marcy napped, I checked Dante's Instagram. Story posted 2 hours ago. Hotel room service breakfast. Best weekends start like this. I screenshot it, added to my collection. Monday morning, I walked into Patricia's office at the bank without an appointment. Mr. Thorne, she said, surprised. How can I help you? I need to move more money. All of it, actually. From the joint account to my personal account. Her expression grew concerned. Mr. Thorne, that's a significant change from our last conversation. Are you sure? I'm sure. My wife and I are separating. I need to protect my assets. Her face softened with sympathy. I understand. But legally, I should advise you that in a divorce, moving all marital funds could... I'm not divorcing her yet. I'm protecting myself until I decide what to do. The money is half mine. I'm just moving my half plus what I need for immediate expenses. She nodded slowly. How much are we talking? 47,000. Leave 3 in the joint account. That's almost everything. I know. 30 minutes later, it was done. $97,000 in my personal account. $3,000 in our joint account. Marcy would check the balance eventually. Maybe this week, maybe next. But when she did, she'd panic. Good. Next, I called our credit card company. I need to reduce the limit on our joint card. May I ask why, sir? Financial planning. We're trying to reduce spending. Can you lower it to 2,000? Currently, you have a 15,000 limit. 2,000 is plenty. I can process that today. Perfect. Then I called Marcy's car insurance. I need to remove myself as a driver from the policy on the Audi. I'll get my own coverage. No problem, Mr. Thorne. That'll reduce your premium, actually. Small moves, legal moves, but each one gave me more control, more leverage. That afternoon, I drafted an email from my personal account to Marcy's top 3 clients. I didn't send it yet, just wrote it. Dear valued client, I regret to inform you that Marceline Vale's business practices may not align with the professional standards you expect. Recent personal developments have come to light that may affect her ability to provide the luxury consulting services you deserve. I wanted to make you aware so you can make informed decisions about your investments. It was vague enough to be legal, specific enough to cause damage, but I held on to it. Not yet. Timing was everything. Tuesday, Lydia texted me. Coffee this week? We met Wednesday at a cafe near her apartment. She showed up in workout gear, hair in a ponytail, looking eager for gossip. Thanks for meeting, I said, sliding a latte across the table. I wanted to ask you something in confidence. Her eyes lit up. Of course, anything. Has Marcy seemed different to you lately? Lydia bit her lip, considering. Different how? Distant, secretive. I'm worried about her. Well, Lydia said, leaning in. She has been acting weird, like really weird. She's been taking a lot of personal calls, long lunches. She told me last week she had a client meeting, but when I checked her calendar, nothing was scheduled. Do you know who she's meeting? Lydia hesitated. Then, unable to resist. There's this guy, Dante something. They went to college together. He's been calling the office a lot. Dante Mercer? Yeah. You know him? I've heard the name. Are they just friends? Lydia looked uncomfortable now. I don't know. Maybe. But the way they talk. I don't know, Elias. I probably shouldn't say anything. Please, I said. I need to know. Is my wife having an affair? The word hung in the air between us. Lydia's face crumpled with sympathy. I don't know for sure, but maybe? I'm so sorry. I didn't want to believe it either. Has she said anything to you? Not directly, but she's been really happy lately. Glowing, you know? And she bought all these new clothes, spent a fortune. How much? Like thousands, maybe 10,000 in the past month. On her personal card, not the business account. $10,000. On clothes. For him. I felt my jaw tighten. Thank you for being honest. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, I lied, but I appreciate you telling me. After coffee, I sat in my car and added Lydia's information to my mental inventory. 10,000 on clothes, multiple meetings with Dante, personal calls. The case against Marcy was building like storm clouds. Thursday, I took the next step. I called Marcy's biggest client, a woman named Victoria Ashford, wealthy socialite, inherited money, the kind of person who hired lifestyle consultants because she had nothing better to do. Mrs. Ashford, this is Elias Thorne, Marcy's husband. Oh, Elias, how lovely to hear from you. Is everything all right? I hope so, I said, my voice carefully concerned. I wanted to reach out because I'm worried about Marcy. She's been under tremendous stress lately, and I'm concerned it might affect her work. Has she seemed distracted during your sessions? There was a pause. Well, now that you mention it, she did cancel our last appointment. Last minute. Said it was a family emergency. There was no family emergency, I said quietly. Oh dear. I don't want to alarm you, but I think she might be dealing with some personal issues. I wanted you to know in case it impacts the project you're working on together. I appreciate you telling me, Victoria said, her voice cooling slightly. I'll keep that in mind. After we hung up, I felt a twinge of guilt. But only a twinge. Marcy had built her business on trust and relationships. If those crumbled, so would everything else. Over the next 2 days, I made similar calls to her other major clients. Same script, same concerned husband routine. By Friday afternoon, I'd planted seeds of doubt in the minds of everyone who mattered to her business. Friday morning, Marcy checked the bank account. I was in my home office when I heard her gasp from the kitchen. Elias, I walked in calmly. What's wrong? Our account, there's only $3,000 in it. Where did everything go? I raised my eyebrows. What do you mean? There was $50,000 in there last week. Oh, I said, as if just remembering. I moved most of it to my personal savings, investment opportunity. Didn't I tell you? No! She looked panicked now, her phone in her shaking hand. You didn't tell me. I'm sorry, I thought I did. It's still our money, just in a different account. Which account? My personal one. Why? I need to transfer some funds. I have expenses. How much do you need? She hesitated. 5,000. For what? Business expenses. Like what? Her face flushed. Client entertainment, materials, the usual. Can't you use your business account? It's complicated, she snapped. Can you just transfer the money? Sure, I said. Give me a day or two to handle it. I need it today. Marcy, it takes time to move that much money. Tomorrow at the earliest. She looked like she might cry or scream. Instead, she grabbed her purse and keys. I have to go. Where? Out. The door slammed behind her. I checked the tracker. She drove straight to Dante's office building. Perfect. That afternoon, I got a call from Victoria Ashford. Mr. Thorne, I wanted to let you know I've decided to pause my project with Marcy. Given what you told me about her stress levels, I think it's best if we revisit this in a few months. I understand, I said. Thank you for letting me know. Of course. I hope everything works out for you both. One client down, 2 more to go. By Monday, all 3 of Marcy's major clients had either paused or canceled their projects. Her income stream had just dried up completely. Saturday, Marcy barely spoke to me. She spent the day in her office, door closed, phone constantly buzzing. I could hear her voice through the walls, tense and frustrated. Sunday morning, she finally confronted me. Elias, we need to talk. Okay. What's going on? You move all our money without telling me. You're acting strange. And now, Victoria Ashford canceled her project. The biggest project I had this year. She canceled? I feigned surprise. Why? She said she wanted to wait, but I know someone got to her. Someone told her something. Like what? I don't know, but this isn't coincidence. Everything's falling apart and I want to know why. I looked at her calmly. Maybe you should ask yourself that question. Her eyes narrowed. What does that mean? It means, I said slowly, that actions have consequences. And maybe your actions are catching up with you. My actions? You tell me, Marcy. We stared at each other. The air between us was electric, dangerous. She opened her mouth to say something, then closed it again. I'm going out, she finally said. Say hi to Dante for me. She froze. Her face went pale. What did you say? You heard me. I don't know what you're talking about. Room 534, Airport Marriott. Should I go on? She looked like she might faint. You've been following me? I've been paying attention. There's a difference. You're crazy. Am I? Or am I just done being lied to? She grabbed her purse and ran out. I heard her car screech out of the driveway. I sat down heavily on the couch. It was out now, the confrontation I'd been building toward. But I didn't feel satisfied. Not yet. Because Marcy would run to Dante. They'd panic together, make a plan, try to turn this around. But I was 3 steps ahead. I called Dante's office number, got his voicemail, left a message. Dante, this is Elias Thorne, Marcy's husband. We need to talk, today. Then I sent him a text from my regular phone. I know everything. Meet me at McGinty's bar, 8 p.m. Come alone, or I go to your boss. McGinty's was a dive bar near the waterfront. Loud, public enough that he couldn't try anything stupid, private enough that we could talk. At 7:30, I drove there, parked in back, went inside and took a booth in the corner. At 8:15, Dante walked in. He looked around nervously, spotted me, and walked over slowly. Sit down, I said. He sat. Listen, man. Don't, I interrupted. Just don't. You're sleeping with my wife, I know. She knows I know. So let's skip the denial part. He exhaled slowly. Okay. Okay, I repeated. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to end it. Today. Right now. You're going to tell Marcy it's over and you're going to stay away from her. Permanently. Or what? Or I destroy you, I said simply. I'll tell your boss. I'll tell your wife. Yes, I know you're married. Did Marcy know that? I'll send every photo, every receipt, every piece of evidence I have to everyone who matters in your life. His face went white. You're bluffing. I pulled out my phone and showed him the folder. Photos of him and Marcy, screenshots of texts, bank statements, the works. I don't bluff, I said. He stared at the phone, then at me. What do you want? I told you, end it, disappear, and maybe I don't ruin your life. She loves me, he said, and the arrogance in his voice made me want to hit him. She loves your money, I corrected, and your attention. But she doesn't love you enough to lose everything for you. Trust me. He stood up. We'll see about that. Sit down, I said quietly. I'm not done. Something in my voice made him sit. You think you're special? I continued. You think this is some great love story. But you're just another guy who wanted what someone else had, and Marcy's just another woman who got bored with her marriage. There's nothing special about either of you. You don't know anything about us. I know you're a coward, I said. I know you scratch your own car and blame it on vandals. I know you panic when hotel staff knock on your door. I know you're weak. His jaw clenched. Are we done here? Almost. One more thing. If you contact Marcy again after tonight, I'll make sure your wife gets everything I have. Every photo, every text, every receipt. I'll mail it to her at your home address. Do we understand each other? He stood up again. This time I let him. We understand each other, he said, his voice cold. Good. Get out. He left. I sat there for another 10 minutes, drinking my beer, letting my heart rate return to normal. It wasn't as satisfying as I'd hoped. I wanted him to beg, to cry, to show some real fear. But this would do. For now. Marcy didn't come home that night. I knew she wouldn't. The tracker showed her car parked at a hotel downtown. Not the airport Marriott, somewhere cheaper. She was probably sitting in a room right now crying to Dante about her horrible husband who'd discovered her secret. Good. Let her cry. Monday morning, Charlotte asked where Mommy was. She had to travel for work, sweetie. Is she coming back? I knelt down and hugged her. Of course she is. Don't worry. But I wasn't sure that was true anymore. Marcy came home Tuesday afternoon. She looked exhausted. Her makeup was smudged. Her hair was a mess. She'd been crying. We need to talk, she said. Okay. We sat in the living room, far apart like strangers. I'm sorry, she started. I'm so sorry, Elias. It was a mistake. A stupid, terrible mistake, but it's over now. Dante and I are done, I swear. Just like that? Just like that. I realized what I was risking. Our family, our life together. Charlotte. None of it was worth it. Do you love him? I asked. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. No, she finally said. I thought I did, but I don't. It was just exciting, different, stupid. How long? 2 months, maybe 3. How many times? Elias, how many times did you sleep with him? She closed her eyes. I don't know. 10? 15? 15 times. 15 betrayals. Where? Hotels. His place once. It doesn't matter now, it's over. Because I caught you. Because I realized what I was losing, she insisted. Convenient timing. I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But we can fix this. We can go to counseling, work through it. For Charlotte's sake, if nothing else. For Charlotte's sake. The ultimate leverage. I need time to think, I said. Of course. Take all the time you need. I'll do whatever it takes. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. I'm sleeping in the guest room, I said. Okay. That night I lay awake in the guest room, staring at the ceiling. Part of me wanted to believe her, wanted to think we could fix this, move past it. But the crack inside me had spread too far. It had become a chasm. Wednesday morning, I got a call from Dante. We need to talk. We already did. In person. Please. One more time. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at the same bar, same booth. He looked worse than Marcy, unshaven, tired, broken. She ended it, he said, just like you wanted. Good. But I need you to know something. I love her, really love her, and she loves me. What we had was real. I don't care. You should. Because she's never going to love you the way she loved me. You can force us apart, but you can't force her to want you. His words hit harder than I expected, because part of me knew he was right. Are you done? I asked. Almost. I want you to consider something. Let her go. Divorce her. Let us be together. You'll both be happier in the long run. I laughed. actually laughed. You think I'd just hand her over, after everything? For Charlotte's sake, he said, throwing my own words back at me. A kid shouldn't grow up in a house where her parents hate each other. We'll figure that out. What we won't figure out is you and Marcy playing house with my daughter. So this is about pride. This is about 100 things you couldn't possibly understand. He stood up. Fine. Have it your way. But you haven't won anything, Elias. You've just made everyone miserable. Including you. That's enough for me. He left. I sat there, his words echoing in my head. You haven't won anything. Maybe he was right, but I wasn't done yet. Thursday, I made the final moves. I called Marcy's remaining 2 major clients and had similar conversations. Concerned husband, worried about his wife's instability, professional courtesy. Both clients thanked me and said they'd reconsider their arrangements. Marcy's business was finished. It would take months for her to recover if she ever did. Friday, I transferred $2,000 back into the joint account, enough to keep things functional, but I kept control of the rest. Saturday morning, Marcy confronted me again. My clients are dropping me. Did you call them? I expressed concerns. You destroyed my business. You destroyed our marriage. So this is revenge? You're punishing me? I'm protecting myself. By sabotaging everything I've built? You sabotaged it yourself the moment you started sleeping with Dante. She started crying. I'm sorry. How many times do I have to say it? I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix anything. Then what will? Tell me what you want and I'll do it. I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I'd loved for 12 years, the mother of my child, the person I'd trusted more than anyone, and I felt nothing. I want you to understand what you did, I said quietly. I want you to feel what I felt. The betrayal, the humiliation, the absolute gutting realization that the person you trusted most in the world was lying to your face every single day. I do understand. No, you don't. But you will. Every client you lose, every awkward social situation, every time Charlotte asks why Mommy and Daddy don't talk anymore, you'll understand then. You're cruel, she whispered. I'm fair. That afternoon, Charlotte asked if we could go to the park as a family. Marcy and I looked at each other. Sure, Princess, I said. We went to the park. Marcy and I sat on a bench while Charlotte played. We didn't talk. Just watched our daughter swing and slide and laugh, oblivious to everything crumbling around her. What happens now? Marcy finally asked. I don't know. Do you want a divorce? I thought about that. Eventually, probably. When? When I'm ready. So I'm just supposed to wait? You're supposed to deal with the consequences of your choices, same as everyone else. She wiped her eyes. I really am sorry, Elias. I know. Does that matter at all? I watched Charlotte on the swing set, pumping her legs, reaching higher. Not as much as you'd like it to. We sat in silence. After an hour, we went home. Sunday, I got a text from Dante. You win. I'm leaving her alone. Congratulations. I didn't respond. Monday morning, I went back to work. My boss asked how I was doing. Better, I said. And strangely, it was true. The rage had burned out, leaving a clean emptiness. Marcy started sleeping in the guest room. We split parenting duties, cordial, functional, roommates with a shared history. 2 weeks later, I checked Dante's Instagram. Photo of a beach. New chapter starting. I closed the app. Didn't matter to me anymore. 3 weeks after the park, Marcy told me she was moving out, taking Charlotte every other week. She admitted she loved me but had gotten lost. I told her she made choices knowingly. She laughed bitterly. I said I didn't hate her, just didn't care. Saturday, I helped pack in silence. Charlotte cried, I held her, promised everything would be okay. After Marcy left, the house felt empty. I pulled out the evidence of her betrayal, photos, screenshots, bank statements, but deleted it. Revenge was complete. Her business was ruined, her relationship over, our marriage finished. I was free. Life settled into a new rhythm. Charlotte alternated weeks between us. I focused on work, got a promotion, started going to the gym, lost 15 pounds. Marcy struggled to rebuild her business, eventually working for someone else. One evening, Charlotte asked why Mommy and I stopped loving each other. I chose my words carefully. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes and sometimes they hurt too much to fix. She hugged me, assured me she still loved us both. I reflected on all that had happened, the lies, tracking, confrontations, destruction. I'd won, but satisfaction was muted. A text from Marcy. She acknowledged her mistakes, asked if I'd forgive her. I typed back, I don't know. Not today. Months later, Dante divorced. Marcy dated someone new. I was dating casually, too. Charlotte adjusted, resilient, with 2 routines, 2 sets of toys. 6 months later, I ran into Dante at the grocery store. He apologized. I told him, You destroyed my marriage. I destroyed your life. We're even. Move on. A year after the breakfast lie, I made eggs for Charlotte. The house was quiet, peaceful. A text from Sarah, my girlfriend, made me smile. Charlotte approved. Every morning now I woke up without lies, tracking apps or betrayal. Free. Charlotte grabbed her backpack. Ready, Daddy? Let's go. Hand in hand, autumn air crisp, I thought briefly of Marcy and Dante, then stopped. Revenge wasn't about destruction, it was freedom. I'd won by saving myself. Pop music filled the car. Charlotte sang off-key. I drove toward school, work, whatever came next. The past was behind me, the future ahead. Breakfast would never taste like lies again.